I'm Selena with My Life by Miss Selena. Today we are going to be making a very special cake for my son-in-law and my daughter for their anniversary. This is the only thing that my son-in-law has asked me to make him especially is my homemade German chocolate cake. But don't tell him it's not homemade. It's actually from a box, but I make it up a notch and make it taste like it's homemade from a bakery. So let's get to it. Pull you over here. I'll show you what I do to make it taste like it's bakery style cake. First of all, forget what it says back here. You don't use water. You'll use buttermilk. Everything else is the same. You use the half a cup of oil and 3 eggs, and you'll add vanilla extract. Okay? So let's get this going. My son-in-law really thinks that I make this homemade. I guess the cat's out of the bag if he watches this, huh? Just put it all in. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now on the box it says 1 1/4 cups of water. Just use 1 cup of buttermilk. Okay, I'm going to pull you around here. And incorporate this just enough to get as much lumps out as you can. Don't over mix it, because that's what makes a cake dense. Okay. Take my spatula, scrape down the sides. Get as much off with the beater as you can. Now I really don't, once I start scraping off the sides, I don't turn on the mixer again, because you don't want to overbeat it. I just use the spatula and mix the rest in. Now if you got an ice cream scoop, which I don't think I do, it's best to scoop these out evenly in your pans to make sure you get the same amount in each pan. But I don't have an ice cream scoop, so I will be using a half cup. And I'll put a half a cup. I'll start with maybe 2 into each pan. This will make 2 9-inch pans. Okay. And I'll end this with 1 cup each. Scrape the bowl pretty good. And it looks like this last bit is going to make about another cup. So I'll put half of this cup into each pan. That way it pretty much assures that you're getting the same amount in each pan. Now I prepared my pan. You spray it. I have a special spray that you can get from a cake store or Walmart, but you go to the cake department and it's called Bake Easy. It already has the flour and everything in it, so you don't have to mess with the flour. Spray your pan, cut a little piece of parchment paper out to fit the bottom of your pan, and spray it again. And then put your cake mix in. Even this out as much as possible. And I give it a couple taps. Kind of shake it around. A couple taps to get the air bubbles out. And put it in the oven. At 350. For about, let's see, I believe about 30, for about 25 to 35 minutes. I'm going to bring you back up here, so put that down for about 25 to 35 minutes. Keep an eye on it. When put a toothpick in, if it comes out clean, your cakes are done. Then let that rest for about 10 minutes, and I'll bring you back at that time. Okay, let's check these, see if they are ready. Gonna bring you over here. Oh, the oven's just now going off. It's been 25 minutes. They look beautiful. Okay. Came out nice and clean, so that means they are ready. So I'll set these aside for 10 minutes. Let them cool off a bit before we take them out of the pan. Okay. I'll bring you over here to look at these. Beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, we'll be back in 10 minutes. And once they rest a little bit, I'll take them out of the pans and let them cool completely before frosting. Okay, I'm back. The cakes are now cooled. So now what I'm going to do is it's pretty well flat, pretty much, but I want to take just a little bit off the top. What I do is I take where you see the edge of the cake. You can see where the edge of the cake is. I will score just a little bit right off the edge and go all the way around just a little bit. Don't go back and forth. Just score just a little bit off at the top and just go around. And as you go around, you go in just a little bit more each time you go around. And that ensure that you've got a flat piece of cake when it comes off. Pretty much. Okay? I didn't do too good of a job that time, but it'll be okay. And then what I'll do is I'll put a simple syrup. Just a little bit of a simple syrup in the middle of this, and it will keep the cake moistened for longer. But it won't make it wet. I'll brush it on. And I'll show you that in just a moment. Now with the simple syrup, all you'll do is take 1 cup of water to 1 cup of sugar and slowly heat that up to just a light boil. And then you turn it off and let that sit until it cools off. And that will moisten your cake. It doesn't make it wet, it just moistens it just a little bit. And it keeps it moist. So as this heats up, I'll bring you back when it's done and cooled off. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick why that simple syrup is cooling off. I'm going to double the amount of chocolate frosting that is in one of your cans of frosting. You just take it and put it in a bowl. Oops. And you just whip that up a little bit, and it will double in size. Look how much that give. Seems a lot more than what it was in there, just by whipping it up. Okay. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll brush some simple syrup in the middle of this cake. And this will help it stay moist for longer. Don't want to saturate it, just a little bit all around the middle. Just dab a little bit on to the edges. Okay. Then you take the prepared icing that we whipped up. I put it in a baggie. I want to put some on the, just on the outside of the cake to make a border. Okay. Then we'll take the other frosting. I like a little bit of the coconut in the middle too, not just the top. Kind of whip that up a little bit. Spread that nice little layer around the middle. Okay, once I do that, I put a little more of the chocolate icing in the middle. Frosting in the middle. I know I got the wrong tip, but nobody's gonna know what tip I used in the middle. Just squeeze that all in there. This is the tip that I'm going to use for the top of the cake. That's why I put it on. Nice little layer in the middle. Okay. And then we put the top piece on. Now I turn the cake upside down and push down just a little bit. Make sure it's even. And I brush some of the simple syrup on the top of this. Okay. And what I do is I go around the edges with this light coating of this chocolate, and we'll make a crumb coat. Okay. Crumb Coat, all that is just a little bit of icing that you put just a small amount just to coat the outside of the cake before you do the frosting. And you'll put this in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. Let that harden up. And then when you go to frost it, if there's any pieces of cake that is loose, it won't come off into your frosting that you're trying to put on the side of your cake and get cake frosting all over the place. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes after I've crumb coated this like this. And I'll bring you back when it's ready to frost all together. Okay, we're back. I'm going to spoon some of this nice German chocolate frosting on top. A good amount. And just even it out. You don't have to put a lot. I just put a nice size amount on top and just spread it out. All the way to the edge. Just make sure that's pretty even. Okay. Now I take and I put the frosting on, of the regular chocolate frosting on the side. I'll be evening this up in just a minute. Now, I'm no professional, but I get it done. And this is my son-in-law's favorite, and he thinks I make it homemade. To me, this is homemade. I'm making it in my home. Okay. Even that up. Make it nice and smooth. Now I have a smoother here. As soon as I get enough of the frosting that I want on there, And I take a little decorating tool here. And I go around the edge with this decorating tool, just barely touch it. Okay. Okay. I am recording now. Just make a little bit of decorations, any kind that you want. There you go. Okay. Now I'm going to transfer this to cake board. I'll show you how I do that. There's my cake board. Gonna scoot this over just a bit. Now you take your knife and run it under the edge of the cake and go all the way around it and get it loosened off the board, and then lift whenever you can and put your hand underneath and lift. Sometimes it can get a little heavy, and transfer. Ooh. There we go. Thank you for joining. Hope you like this video. I can't sit down. Okay. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hope you like this video. If you do, please like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to be notified when I put on some more videos. Have a great night. Thank you.